interest rates have dropped to their lowest levels since October 2024. On the other hand, Redfin data has reported that home purchases have been canceled to the tune of nearly 23% here in San Antonio. And that's 3 percentage points over last year, where home purchases were canceled up to 19%. That's nearly a quarter of all home sale purchases this year were canceled in the month of July by home buyers. So what gives? Are home buyers anticipating a lot lower interest rates coming soon, so they're just putting their plans on hold for the fall? Or is there more economic uncertainty that's driving this? In either case, I'm going to give you some tips at the end of this video here that I think can dramatically improve the chances of getting your home sold sooner rather than later in this really difficult time to sell a home. I'm Krishna Perkins. I'm a real estate broker here in San Antonio, and I've been bringing buyers and sellers together since 2007. In fact, looking back to that time period, the great financial crisis, really, me and a whole host of real estate agents thought, oh my gosh, is this never going to end? I mean, it was horrible. You saw for sale signs popping up everywhere, builders going out of businesses, realtors going out of businesses. It was a very difficult time. Well, fast forward to the COVID era pandemic selling years, and you could get top dollar for a cardboard box, but it was very difficult to find a home for your buyer because things were being snapped off the market so quick. And we also thought at that time it was never going to end. Well, now we've got a new problem, and interest rates are coming down, but still high, and prices are still high. So, what's the answer here? Now, we're going to jump into the San Antonio housing market data. I'm going to share the 5 tips that I have for you sellers that are struggling. We're going to cover inventory levels. We're going to cover new listing inventory, pending home sales, and active home sales. So let's jump into it. Okay, our very first data point we're going to talk about here, and these are the August numbers. This is the September San Antonio housing market report. And as you can see here, we're in a balanced market. If you're not sure what balance versus seller's market versus buyer's market looks like, I've got a video right here that you can check out that explains all that. But as you can see, we have increased the month's worth of inventory by 3.54%. That's not as much as last month, and we've certainly had higher months worth of inventory added to the market. We're at 5.56. It is still considered a balanced market right now. Homes are selling at 95.9% of the list price. These are the homes that are going under contract, not the homes that are lingering. They're going under contract. This is down a little bit, 1.27% month over month, so slightly less than the sellers were getting the previous month. The days on the market is up 49 days, about 11%. And this is typical for this time of year as far as the days on the market going up. It really does. It does slow down in the fall, back to school, all that good stuff. The typical home sold price, $295,000. That is what is selling right now. Typically, that's down 1. The next data point we're going to cover here are new listings, newly listed homes in San Antonio. We're looking at a typical median list price of $295,000. So good on those sellers there that are coming onto the market. They're getting the message. They're getting their homes priced with the market at least. That is down slightly, 1.3% month over month. The number of properties is also down. The number of newly listed homes in San Antonio is down 7.8%. So 2,681 properties newly listed in the month of August. The median living area square footage for homes listed is down 4.4%. Again, that's typical, that's seasonal. You see the smaller homes come on the market towards the end of the year. But overall, we're looking at smaller homes, slightly smaller homes over time here. Not as big as what we saw back in 2020. The typical home size that was on the market was almost 2,000 square feet. So a little bit smaller homes are getting the action there. This third data point here is active listings. This is where a lot of the pressure is building for the market. These are the homes that are not selling. They're on the market. They've already been a new listing. Maybe they went under contract. They're still active. They're not getting sold right now. These are priced a little bit higher, 305. That's slightly down a little bit, but we've got about 9,422 properties. We're up 1.5% month over month. Not a whole lot, not a big jump there. So not too much more competition for sellers. But as you can see here, as far as the number of properties going back to 2020, I mean, we're really still on a steady increase in the number of properties. It has flattened out a bit here. We'll see what effect there is on interest rates, or interest rates has on this segment of the listing inventory. Is it going to bring down those active listings? Is it going to help? Time will tell. These active listings are on the market here for a typical time frame of 69 days. And finally, our new pending listings. These are the homes that just went under contract in the month of August. These are, gosh, these are at a typical price of $290,000. So these guys are really, that's their list price. So these guys came in, they priced their home aggressively. It looks like that's actually down 3.3% month over month. The number of properties that went into new pending status for the month of August, 1,429 properties. That is down 16%. But nevertheless, these guys are pending. They are on their way to closing the deal and getting their home sold so they can move on with the next chapter of their life. Congratulations. Hope it works out. The typical days on the market for these newly pending listings is 53 days on the market. And that is typical right now. We're looking at a 6% increase there on the median days on the market. And the typical square footage for those homes is looking like 1,866 square feet for the typical home that is now pending. Now, if you have any questions about this, if you're looking for a market analysis, you can reach me at 210-260-6617. Text message is always good, or reach me at www.homevaluetx.com. I will be happy to send you a complimentary, no obligation assessment of your home. That way you know where you stand in the neighborhood or your area. And if you're buying, I can also do the same thing for you looking at a neighborhood. So we're going to jump into what builders are doing right now to get their homes sold. And then those 5 topics are really strategies that I think all home sellers need to pay attention to and look at getting their home sold. Okay, this is Scott Felder Homes. This is one of a couple builders. I preview these homes every week. Right now I'm previewing builders. I'm previewing foreclosures. Heck, I'm even previewing for sale by owners just to keep a feel for what's happening in the market there. But Scott Felder is offering some amazing incentives. And as you can see right at the top of their site, 3.99% on select homes. So this is the competition. If you're a seller and that you're dealing with right now in the market, and I'm going to give you some of those tips here in a minute to help you combat this, but this is definitely something to think about. They're doing price reductions. You can see here they went from 420,460 to 394,990, and of course they've got sales incentives wrapped into that. They're getting those interest rates bought down. Here's another one that really illustrates the sales incentives they're doing. This is Davidson Homes. And as you can see here, they start year 1, they give you a 1.99% rate. That's super low. That's year 1. Year 2, 2.99%. Year 3, 3.99%. And then year 4 through 30, 4.99% for the life of the loan. So, and this is going to end. This is actually over today. Who knows what they do? Maybe they bring it back. I don't know. But this is over today, Wednesday here. But they're really pushing the interest rates at these builders on top of having a brand new house, appliances, warranties, all that stuff. The sales incentives are pretty ridiculous right now, and especially with the buyers canceling contracts the way they have been. Again, I don't know what the fall months are going to bring here, but right now, and this is typical for builders each year to have sales at the end of the year. They have inventory. They want to get rid of it before the next year rolls over because then they got to pay taxes on it, all that good stuff. This is a typical activity that we see, but at this level, they're really getting serious and trying to move those homes. So let's get into those 5 strategies and get your house sold. All right. So as you've just seen, builders are doing anything and everything they need to do to get homes sold. So that same thing has to go for owner occupants. You're trying to sell your home, you've got to do anything and everything to get your home sold. So I brainstormed myself just to make sure I wasn't leaving anything out for you today on this market report. I want to make sure everyone has an edge in getting their home sold. So the first thing is all the possible typical things that are done to get your home sold. Pricing it right. I mean, that if you don't do that, nothing else I say really matters. It needs to be priced correctly. You need to have fresh paint. Okay. If it hasn't been painted in forever, fresh paint does a lot. It's probably the biggest return you can make on your house. If it hasn't been ever painted or hasn't been painted in years, fresh paint does wonders inside and out. Curb appeal, staging, whether it's actual staging or virtual staging, you want to have that kind of stuff done for your property. You want to stand out. The builders are doing it. They have a model home where everything has been staged professionally. Okay, maybe you don't have to do professional staging, but you need to stage your home. It helps with the photos. It helps when buyers walk through the home. Okay, have it staged. The second thing that I'm recommending here today is consult with a lender. Find out what's going on. Consult with a couple lenders. What are they seeing? What kind of concessions are they seeing in the marketplace? How much do you need to prepare for a home priced at your price range in your area to get the home sold? Are you having to help buy down discount points? Are you having to help pay for closing costs? Is the buyer broker fee included in there? Find out what's going on. You know, your agent can and will know this as well, but if you're not, maybe you're not working with an agent, maybe you're a for sale by owner, definitely consult with a lender before you get your house on the market, because you want to be able to point to those things when you're marketing the home because the builders are doing it. I get emails every day from the builders, what they're offering, their pricing, their concessions, the buyer broker fees that they're paying. They're marketing to the agents that have the buyers to bring them in. So you need to be able to do the same thing when you're looking for your buyers. The third thing that you're going to want to do here is take the legwork out for these buyers. Take care of the legwork, especially if you have a difficult to sell property. If there's numerous repairs that the property needs, maybe the roof is really old, get a roof inspection done, get some bids done. If you're not willing to replace the roof, I have a video here on foundation repair, and it goes over a lot of this stuff that is relatable to just general repairs. You want to check that out. But taking care of that legwork, and I understand that it's the buyer's responsibility to have an inspection and all that good stuff. But when you're selling a difficult property, if there's issues, you really want to tackle, if you can't, you want to tackle those issues up front. And if you can't tackle them, you want to have an understanding of what it's going to take to get the home done if you're selling it as is. Okay, even if you can't put any actual money behind it and fix the problem, you want to at least be able to present to the would-be buyers what the issues are, maybe even go and get bids to fix the issue, but not fix the issue. Okay, you want to let the buyers understand you already know how much it might cost to fix the house. Okay, but for whatever reason you can't fix it, here's what it's going to cost to fix it. That also gives you more strength in your price. Okay, if you're priced correctly, you don't want buyers coming in after the fact and beating you over the head with a report that they have, or a estimate that they have. You already have the reports. You already know what it's going to cost to fix the foundation. You already know what it's going to cost to fix the roof. Here, you've already presented that to them, and you have the price. So you don't have to worry about that later when they come back with negotiations. And these last two, really good here. Targeted marketing to the most opportune buyers most likely to buy your house. Okay. If you're not using targeted marketing, if you're a for sale by owner, or if your agent's not using targeted marketing, something definitely to consider. There's a lot of ways to do it. You don't want to just market just to the masses, but there are folks out there that are looking, and frankly, there's a lot of homes out there that they haven't considered because there's just so many to pick from. But targeted marketing, actually, you can select from the income needed to purchase your home, all the way down to special features like office space for people that are working from home, things of that nature. They're out there, they're searching for it, but maybe they just haven't stumbled upon your listing. So target marketing is an approach that you want to use in getting your home sold. And then finally, assumable mortgages. Okay. If you're sitting on an assumable mortgage right now, FHA, VA, USDA, and you're not advertising your assumable mortgage, especially if it's a low rate. Okay. If you have one of those 2.5% rates that you're just sitting on, target marketing that to people that are looking for affordable homes, or homes with just in general, is a huge advantage. Okay. So if you have a low rate, anything below 4%, you should be marketing that as an option for buyers looking to purchase a home, because it brings more eyeballs to your listing. And if utilized correctly, you can find buyers that would match that perfectly. So that's my 5 tips for getting your home sold here at the end of 2025, going into 2026. I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys on the next housing market update.